Hey, you know what's super cool? Nuclear chemistry involves atomic bombs and explosions. It's pretty sweet. You want to know some interesting facts? The atom is made up of mostly empty space.
Quarks are the smallest part of the atom. Radiation isn't always bad for you.
And there's even something called the irradiation of food, and that's with the everyday food that we eat.
The atomic theory explains ordinary chemical reactions where there are electron changes. It is always spontaneous.
For an isotope to be stable, it must have the proper proton to neutron ratio. 1 to 1 equals lighter, 1.5 to 1 equals heavier.
Now, radiation, the official definition is emission of rays from a nucleus of an atom to become more stable, and also can be energy or particles that are emitted.
Radioisotopes are unstable isotopes of an element.
Now there are many different types of nuclear particles. Beta particle, alpha particle, gamma particle, electron capture, and positron radiation.
There is also something that we deal with called half-life, and there are two different equations that you can see here.
Fission is the splitting of a nucleus by bombarding it with neutrons from atoms. Fission produces extraordinary amounts of energy. Uncontrolled fission reactions happen instantaneously and consume all of the fissionable items. The atomic bomb is a very large example of an uncontrolled fission reaction.
There are pros and cons to nuclear energy. Some of the pros, it's a chain reaction that makes the process self-sustaining. The reaction is controllable with the use of control rods and moderators. Requires a very small amount of fuel, which makes it very effective.
The cons are that the reactors are very expensive to build. The reactors have a very limited lifespan, thermal pollution of water at the site, and radioactive waste.
Besides fission, there's also something called fusion. And fusion is when you're combining two smaller nuclei into a larger nucleus.
Some pros, it's cheap and available fuel. Produces 20 times as much energy per gram. Also, no radioactive waste, just helium.
The cons are that it requires a very vast amount of energy to start the reaction, it requires a high temperature to sustain the reaction, and it is not controllable.